Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. How is everybody doing out there? I am Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet fan here, and I'm so excited to be back on tonight to talk some Attack on Titan, the final season. The rumbling has started. A lot of people are sharing their opinions of it in Paradise Island. There's a lot going on in this show, and we love every little minute of it. If you love what we do here, in it for Attack on Titan, and you love what we do here in the Amateur Otaku Podcast, make sure you click on that like button and follow us on our YouTube channel, share it with your friends, subscribe, and make sure to click on that bell for notifications so you do not miss any episodes, you do not miss any streams, you don't miss any of our coverage of Attack on Titan and a lot of other shows like our My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, this week with the Horimiya, and a bunch of awesome animes that we cover every week just for you guys to start an awesome anime discussion with people that love anime just like we do. And of course, I don't do this by myself. I do it with the one and awesome Isak Wolff. What is up, man?
Pumps for life.
The Punisher. Oh my God. The Punisher Titan's back. What's up, Isaac? You doing good?
I'm exhausted, but outside of that, I'm good.
Awesome. As usual, our awesome friend Perp is back. Perp Minded.
Hello,
Salute
Perp.
to yourself, my brother. Man, you've been awesome coming in every single episode. It's awesome. But yeah, we're back here. Amateur Talk Podcast, Attack on Titan, final season. The rumbling has started. There's so much to discuss on chapter 81, titled Thaw, which of course is very particular to her. It's very particular and specific for a very particular reveal that we get at the end of the show, which, by the way, what a great cliffhanger to end the episode on. And of course, we're going to talk about that and a lot of other stuff that's going on in this episode. As you know, I love getting philosophical, and I like to go deep in all the different things that happen in the episode because Attack on Titan is that type of show, and we love talking about it. Sadly, Mike is not here with us today, but we shout out to Mike. Mike, he is covering the Super Bowl, and of course, hey, when you're a fan of football, you cannot miss the greatest show on earth, which is that right now. But thank you for all you guys joining us because you love anime more than football, which again, it's everybody loves their own thing. Isaac, this is a big episode. A lot of stuff happens in this episode.
You can call it a titan of an episode.
Actually, I would actually call it a colossal episode. It's funny
Both works.
because for a moment there, it's can we address the elephant in the room first? Like before we jump into all the serious talk, right? Is it just me, or did Mappa take a page out of Guardians of the Galaxy? In that whole sequence where the scouts are killing all the Titans with the background music and like, you know what I mean? Like it's all like very metal.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now I get to follow.
Yeah, there's like a lot of references there.
I mean, didn't they have sort of like a when they fought Kenny? Didn't they have sort of like a rap number?
Yeah, they have something like that, and also, I mean, they do a lot of interesting things for the show. But I like how this one made me think about Guardians, especially the intro for Volume 2, like when they're fighting that weird, like octopus monster or whatever.
Yeah, because
it had a lot of vibes.
Because let's also remember that they had a rap song against Kennedy, and then it was Wit that took care of it.
Yeah, that was to
it wasn't the same.
True.
So I wonder if it's just something more of a choice from Ayama, maybe, or maybe it's just something they felt fit. I don't know.
Very possible. I mean, it was awesome. It wasn't bad. It was actually pretty awesome. I mean, I love this episode for a lot of different reasons. Of course, one of the main reasons that I love this episode wasn't necessarily that whole Guardian of the Galaxy montage, even though it was great. But there's a lot of there's a lot of nuance in this episode. This is one of those episodes that, as soon as it was over, similar to chapter 79, which chapter 79 is the chapter where it's called Memories of the Future, where Seek and Aaron go through all those memories, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's one of those episodes that, as soon as it was over, all I did was go back to the book, go back to the manga, and try and see like if everything they're showing us in the anime is very similar to what we're seeing in the book. And the cool thing about it is that a lot of it is, and like I was so surprised to find that this particular episode, it's like, Isaac, panel per panel, like panel per panel, the book. I was so amazed. Like, there were very little things that, of course, were cut, but like all the dialogue is there, all the nuances, all the sequences, like everything was almost panel per panel. I was very surprised, which makes me think that a lot of the more interesting moments that happen in the future chapters, we're gonna see them like play out like that in the show, and I'm really excited. I mean, as of right now, we have what, 5 more episodes, right? Is this 5 or 6 more? I think this is
I
6.
believe it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's jump into it. There's a lot to talk about in this episode. What are your thoughts? What are the things that stood out to you for this episode?
It's, well, I have to say this again, but this is you can argue that this is a nitpick, but the animation of the wall titans is not that good, honestly. But
I mean,
but that's the only really negative I have of the
I mean,
on.
the Colossal has always been the one Titan that always looks very otherworldly, more than anything.
Yeah,
Because they look
but
like,
outside that it was a. But outside of that, it's an episode that truly leaves an impact because people are
yes,
trying to understand what's going on.
yeah,
Just just handling the situation,
yeah,
and just how should we follow? How should we continue it all?
yeah.
And
Eh,
the most memorable episode, the sort of part of the episode, isn't in my opinion, the reveal, so to speak, at the end of the episode. It's actually the reaction that caused when Sasha saved the very same girl who is the little sister to the
you mean when
uh,
Gabby
Gabby,
saves
sorry.
that girl?
When Gabby
Yeah,
saves who is Sasha's little sister, even
yeah.
though even though they pretty much hate each other, and
Or
they
so we thought. Or
protect,
so we thought they hated each other, right?
yeah, and they protect both them, Gabby and the soldier, when the Marlians ask, "Who the heck are you?" They didn't just uh, sold them out or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
It just it's sort of like a subtle impact of there can be a solution. There can be more, and just you can have simple conversations if that makes any
yeah,
sense,
yeah,
or you can
yeah.
have solutions if that makes any sense.
Or but you know what? I'm glad that you went that way, because that's kind of one of the biggest things to me on the episode too. And so one of the topics of this, one of the themes, one of the main themes of the entire manga, right, is the idea of freedom, or what it is to be free. What does that mean? What does that look like for a lot of people? Hey, Mike from the sidelines, what's up, man? It's all good. It's all good. A lot of the things that that occur is that is the whole theme of freedom, right? And one of the things that I find very interesting is that one of the things that we learn in the especially in the beginning of the series, and we didn't know that was what was happening in the beginning, but especially as we go into the final stages of the series, we understand that the idea of indoctrination, the idea of brainwashing, the idea of enforcing someone else's vision or thought of what the world needs to be, right?
Yeah.
Is a big topic of discussion, especially when you're bringing the idea of freedom to the table, right? And you can see this in a number of ways. The royal family has been indoctrinated in keeping that vow, and they've been brainwashed in keeping that vow. Zeke has a way of showing that kind of brainwashing by allowing himself to be brainwashed by others, whether it was his father Grisha first or Mr. Kisaver later. The idea that Grisha devoted part of his life to the vision of restoring Eldia because of his hatred, and also following what Aaron Kruger told him. The idea that all the scouts are taught to go outside the walls because it's their job to do this, right? Like it's all about Gabby and all the warriors seeing all the Paratus Eldians as devils, the world seeing them as devils because they've learned this through generations, through genetic indoctrination. You know what I mean? That whole thing. And the idea that because of what Aaron is doing, because of his actions, because of the things that he's decided to do, it has forced a lot of characters to make certain decisions that have driven them to question everything they've learned and decide for themselves what's right or what's wrong. I would even say it shows how these two these two girls are in their path towards freedom because now they're not bound by what they thought was the reality or what other people impose on them, right? And I love how in that conversation that they have between themselves, and then what's the name of the chef, the one that was kind of in love with Sasha? um um
Falco.
no, 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 Falco is the kid, the one that has
Oh,
the jaw tightened.
uh,
uh the chef.
uh,
Not
oh, I know who you mean. I can't recall the name.
Marco either. Chef in Attack on Titan. We know this name. Niccolo. Niccolo. So in like when they say like, oh no, I'm the devil. No, I'm the devil. I said, no, we all have a devil inside of us. Like we all have something that will push us to do the worst thing. And the idea that we decide to listen, that we understand that that's a reality, and that we choose not to give into that or to give that side of us to other people, is having that ability, again, the ability to choose, to be free, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like a big turning point for those characters. And I'm gonna say this, and I this might create a whole whirlwind of Reddit followers to hate me. So, Isaac, is there anything you want to say about this before I destroy my image?
You have already destroyed your image ages ago, so that's nothing new.
But what do you think about those ideas? Do you see what I'm talking about? Does it make sense?
Yeah, I actually agree. Totally makes sense.
So here's where I'm gonna go with with all this. I actually love the character of Gabby now, and
Huh.
and and the reason I love the character of Gabby is because Gabby is another Aaron. And the funny thing is, if you
That was,
look at,
I mean, she being a new Aaron is not that hard to see.
especially when you see her character model, and when she puts her hair up, if you forget that she's a girl, all you see is Aaron. She puts her hair up the same way Aaron did.
I know.
When And like all those little hints, and the idea that she's making these decisions. She has the Aaron rage. You know what I mean? And it's like there's always going to be someone that's going to have that motivation or that drive or whatever. And like all those little things, I love all those little hints. And I really like Gabby's transformation from the moment that we met her to where she is right now. And it's funny because it's kind of the same path that Aaron has gone through, right? The idea that,
Yeah.
but Aaron in a different way, because Aaron has always known what he wants. Aaron has not allowed, he wasn't indoctrinated to do something. He just used everything that was given to him as a tool to understand how really free or trapped he actually is. And I like how Gabby is just how you can be how Gabby's this perfect example of how you can become free of those brainwashing stuff. And I don't know, those kind of views and those ideas are just so interesting. And 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 the effects of someone that's really free causes everybody to be like, okay, what's everybody gonna do now? um but yeah, man, I mean, this show is awesome. But I like all those thoughts, all those ideas, all that exploration. And I like how these characters are evolving to something a lot more interesting. um now, the one thing that I like also, that I like that they're hinting to a development, which I find very interesting. And I also found it very interesting, especially in the preview, is that you notice how, in a way, everybody feels that, being that Aaron is doing what he's doing, everyone feels that this is it.
Yeah.
That nobody has a choice, that nobody there's nothing that can be done, and we just have to sit down and wait till we are destroyed by Aaron, or accept the world that Aaron is creating. And I find very interesting that
Exactly.
everybody's kind of I like how everybody's kind of reacting that way, and that's very interesting. um what do you think about that? Because it's funny, because we've seen that in different ways throughout the episode. Like we saw Reiner giving up, right? Going like, now there's nothing we can do. Aaron can,
Who could blame him?
yeah, like Aaron's destroying everything. Aaron's gonna destroy the world, and there's nothing we can do. And then you have Gene saying Aaron's gonna destroy the world. I can't believe he's doing all this. But the biggest thing is that he's doing all of this because he loves us. Like, isn't that like a crazy like God metaphor? Like, you know what I mean? Like they're treating Aaron like the savior, but also like this destroyer. Like he's like, I don't know, man. And not only that, this is the one episode where Aaron is nowhere. Like the only moment we see Aaron is in the flashback. We didn't even see. Well, we kind of saw the back of the founding Titan, but we barely saw him in the whole episode. It's all about people reacting to what he's doing, and I just find it so awesome. Is there anything that you want to see? I know it's kind of not fair because we did read the manga. Um, what do you?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
That's the biggest problem of doing stuff like that. You want to have some that hasn't read the manga compared to someone that has read the manga. That would be the
yeah, yeah.
best discussion.
What do you
So
like? What do you like of the design for the founding Titan so far? I think it's pretty accurate, pretty cool so far. We still haven't seen his face though. Like we haven't, like we saw like the big picture. Which, by the way, did you know that what we see, like, like the big close up when he's saying that he's gonna destroy everyone, that big close up on Aaron's Titan face, that's exactly how the page in the book looks. Like
I
that
know.
literally is. And I saw that and my jaw dropped. I was like, oh my god, it is so good. Um, wasn't it heartbreaking seeing all these people as Titans? Like we saw, not Hannes, but we saw that guy from the Wall Patrol. We saw Commander Pixis. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of heartbreaking. And like Armin being the one
Yeah.
to having done it. Yeah, bro. That was just
It
crazy.
was kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But it's I mean it's but then we also have the whole big thing at the end of them revealing. Well, this is supposed to be a spoiler episode discussion, so that the female Titan is back in business, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I found interesting is that, like Aaron said, and I like the fact that they connected everything, right? Like, wait a minute. When Aaron said that he's hardening, that he undid the hardening of the walls and everything, he undid all the hardening, and then it goes back to Annie, which is awesome. Which, by the way, I want to know what anime only fans thought about this moment, because it blew my mind when I read it. Did it blow your mind when you read it? Especially the
Can't
way they connected it all?
can't recall if I'm being honest.
Because it still blows my mind today. Like the fact, and not only that, for those that didn't know, one of the things that we've talked about is that throughout the last couple of episodes, they've been shifting where they do the cliffhangers. They've been shifting where they end the episodes, to create more drive and notion and stuff like that. And one of the interesting things that they did in this episode is that the ending of this episode is the ending of that chapter in the book. Like, this is the same cliffhanger in the anime as it is in the manga. Annie on the floor, coming to after being on after being unthawed, which it makes me think that Annie purposefully not able to unthaw herself, or is that something that she did to herself and she didn't know how to turn it off? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder, like, did Aaron just liberate Annie from a form that she couldn't get out of? Which makes me think that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like, when she got into that heartened state, like maybe she did something that as a last resort, and then she went into this coma that she didn't know. Because to think about it, she's been in this state for like 4 years,
Has it been
and she just
4 years?
yeah, I think the total, because I think the time skip is a 4 year time skip. I think because Aaron is like 15 and currently he's 19 years old as of right now. So there was a time
Hmm.
skip. Yeah,
I knew that it was a time skip, but I didn't think it was that long.
yeah, yeah. They can all be tried as adults. No. um, but yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, that was one of the best reveals. And I really want to know what anime only fans thought about that reveal of Annie coming back. Like, I have a friend. I have a friend at work that he does a podcast too with his friend. He does reaction videos and stuff like that. And I want to know what he thinks about that reveal when she comes, when now that Annie is up and at him, and I wonder what side she's going to take, because again, the Berthold is dead. Um, she's been listening to Armin all this time. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen. Not only that, we still have, let's talk about Connie. Like, Connie wants to use Falco to save his mother. Like, this is something that we never thought it would come to this, and now I think we're about to find out at some point what type of man Connie really is. Is he going to sacrifice other people just to save his mother? Which is interesting how that little choice, because and I like how Isayama uses all these imagery, right? Because you got to think about,
Mm.
Connie is kind of doing the same thing as Aaron, only in a smaller scale.
Kinda.
And I don't know. Isayama is such a great writer. I'm glad that he's really hands on with everything going on with the anime. And imagine if the same thing that happened to Promise Neverland happened to Attack on Titan. That would have been so bad.
Don't speak of that fucking season again.
Man, someone needs to brush their teeth. Um,
You know that I hate it.
I know you did test it. Um, yeah, man. I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about the episode? I mean, I think this was. I mean, not a crazy amount of stuff happened in the episode that we have not already talked about. But did you find anything else interesting that you would like to share?
No.
The last thing I want to say is the whole thing with Yelena. The fact that she's the only one that's asking herself, "Where's Zeke?" Like she's still always, of course, Team Zeke, right? Like her world crashing down, and I like how, even in all of this, we have the idea of cult mentality, like and we're seeing both sides of it, right? Like there's always going to be one side that's going to win, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're better. That doesn't mean that they're not bad, because you have Flock with the Jaegerists coming back winning, right? And then you have Yelena downtrodden and defeated because her savior has fallen. And it makes you think, like, that's what happens when you don't have your own mentality, when you're a slave, or when you don't or when you don't think for yourself. If that other being or person falls, you fall. I don't know, man. There's just so much, so many things that are awesome in the show. But that's all I got, man. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No. I do not.
So next week's episode, it's going to be crazy. A lot more awesome stuff. It's called Sunset. Is it Sunset?
Yeah,
Let me see.
I believe so.
It's called Sunset. Apparently, we're gonna keep looking into dynamics of the team, of the scout regimen, and everything that's going on with the Jaegerists and Flock and everything like that. So I guess we'll find out what's gonna happen. But I'm really excited to record that next week with all you guys and talk more Attack on Titan. If you guys want to have conversations of the manga, if you guys want us to have some conversation, or manga spoilers, if you want us to include manga spoilers in an episode, let us know. But we kind of don't want to do it because everything that's happening is weekly. So make sure you follow us so you get our thoughts. We are going to do a full-on manga review, spoiler, and all that stuff whenever the season ends. I really don't want it to end, but I really love everything that Map has been doing, and I've been very satisfied. So, Isaac, let's get out of here. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me over at my work of Wobam Entertainment, and you can find me over at Emblemaniac.
And you can find me at... Oops, sorry.
And you can find our pod at the Amateur Taco Pod on Twitter.
And you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter, and also at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram. We'll see you next week, guys. Have it awesome. Peace.
Peace.